Why are people fleeing from Spain? What is it about this country that repels people? In today's video, I will delve into this topic. My name is Damir Makarov, and I am the owner of the real estate agency DM Real Estate. Please like and subscribe. Let's go. To be honest, all those people who have left Spain say that they are fed up with this hasta mañana attitude, meaning tomorrow. There's this thing in Spain, the word mañana means tomorrow. And many people who use this word don't actually mean that something will be done tomorrow. What they really mean is, well, sometime later. So there are people who are fed up with this, who are tired of hearing the word mañana. Let's get into this. The thing is, in the country you came from before moving to Spain, I'm sure things don't just get done at the snap of a finger. Just like that, documents for foreigners, for migrants, they don't get processed at the snap of a finger. For example, in Asia, just try to get any kind of documents at all. It's very difficult. And Spain today is one of the countries, one of the most welcoming countries in Europe, welcoming to newcomers. That is, you can move to Spain, live here for 2 years, and then apply for residency through the process of settling. And the most important thing in all of this is that you have some kind of profession, that you have some skills. Because if you don't have any skills in the country you came from, then in this country you will either need to learn something new or work in exactly the same professions you worked in back in your home country. Of course, moving services are very common and popular in America. There are also handymen here. There are also guys here who work illegally, both on the island of Tenerife and in mainland Spain. There are companies that offer jobs and pay you unofficially, paying you under the table. Many companies and a lot of people try to avoid paying taxes. In fact, that's why jobs paid under the table appear. So if you haven't managed to find a job here, if you haven't managed to make friends or meet people to spend time with, even just some casual acquaintances, not only do you start to feel lonely, but eventually you begin to hate everything. You start to hate the shop assistants. You start to hate those administrative workers who are basically just doing their jobs, and no one ever promised you anything in the first place. So if you are planning to move from the Russian Federation to anywhere else, keep in mind that no one owes you anything. If you don't know English, Spanish, or the language of the country you're moving to, of course it's going to be difficult for you. Please write in the comments whether life is easy for you in the country where you live and were born. There are difficulties there too. And what about the clinic? When you go to the clinic, they send you upstairs, downstairs, and basically try to get rid of you in every possible way. And what can you say about other municipal institutions where you go and they also send you off in no uncertain terms? In other words, to get any kind of document, you really have to go through a lot of hassle. And the same goes for passports, international passports, any kind of certificate at ALET. All takes a long time. It doesn't get done in a single day. So if you think that everything takes a long time here in Spain, don't move here. Here, you really do have to wait to get any kind of document. Here, you don't have any connections. You can't really speed things up because, yes, people say there's corruption in Spain, but it's not on the same scale as in other countries. That is, you might be able to speed up a particular process or situation, but only if you have acquaintances in that specific field. In other words, nepotism still exists here. If you have acquaintances in this country, Spaniards, Russians, Russian speakers, doesn't matter. Any nationality, it will be easier for you to live here. Basically, just like anywhere else, if you have connections, life should be easier for you. To answer the question directly, why do people leave here? So They leave only because things didn't work out for them here. 99% of people leave Spain simply because they couldn't settle in, couldn't make a life here, couldn't make connections, couldn't find a job, or couldn't buy property. I already talked about my friend not so long ago in a short video who moved here and tried to live without any kind of plan. He brought 100,000 euros with him. And what do you think happened? He actually spent all that money and now he has nothing. No car, no apartment. He had a car, he broke down and he just left it on the street like that, and that was it. Instead of fixing it and somehow moving forward here, creating opportunities to earn money, buying a commercial property after all, with 100,000 euros almost 3 years ago, you could have done a lot. You could have bought a two-room apartment for 65 to 70,000 euros, or you could have bought a commercial property for 50 to 60,000 euros. And that's not where the list ends. In other words, there were so many different businesses you could have started here. There are licenses, people were selling them, and there are even ready-made businesses for sale. If you want to move somewhere, don't listen to your friends or acquaintances who have never been anywhere. And guys, with all due respect, they really don't have anything to show for themselves. I myself have acquaintances like that, fortunately. They're not friends who see absolutely no point in going anywhere. But the fact is, many people don't understand how to do it. And they'll try to talk you out of moving because it's hard, because it takes a long time, because it's stressful. Well, of course, moving is stressful. And whoever said that moving would be just a light stroll down Broadway, that you wouldn't face any difficulty? Who told you it would be easy for you in a foreign country? You have to understand with your head that it will be hard for you in a country you don't know, where you can't express yourself, where you don't know the language. Think about IT even in your own country, it's just as hard. And you still have to work through different situations. You still have to adapt everything to yourself and your own circumstances. You still need to make time for your family, your business, sports, and yourself. It's exactly the same as in any other country. So, guys, the problems here are exactly the same. There aren't any fewer of them, believe me. But in reality, there aren't more of them. If you look at this situation with a positive mindset, in other words, there aren't more problems here. For example, right now I live at a resort. I don't have to worry about saving up to go to the sea once or twice a year for a vacation or to save money for a resort. Don't listen to people who try to talk you out of it. Because if you try and it doesn't work out, at least your conscience will be clear. Whereas if you don't even try, 5 or 10 years will pass by and you'll be watching YouTube or Instagram and then come across my videos or maybe someone else's, and you'll find yourself asking, why didn't I do it back then? Why didn't I just try even just one single time to see if I could make it or not?